The United Kingdom general election happening right now after months of campaign. Will the recent terror attacks influence voters in any way? Boy, is the world watching. Dr. Martin Greig, Associate Professor at Ryerson University, joins me right now to try and give us some perspective on this. And this election has snuck up on a lot of people in the Western world, just like the French election did. All of a sudden, we really started paying attention in this last week. So quickly give us the Sparks Notes version of what is happening today in Britain. Who are the main players?
Well, there's the governing Conservative Party, led by Theresa May, who has never been elected as Prime Minister by the populace because she came in to replace David Cameron, who resigned after losing the Brexit vote. So she's holding an election to try and get a majority government on her own. That's why she called it. And the opposition Labour Party is led by Jeremy Corbyn, who's a long-term MP and an old-style socialist.
Now, let's keep in mind, this is a snap election.
Yes, it is.
It was probably another 3 years before they were due to have an election. This is a nation that is weary from elections and from votes and plebiscites and referendums. We've had the Scottish vote. We've had Brexit. We had just a couple of years ago the actual national vote. Is there a message, do you think, that could be sent to the polls today by those looking at the two parties they usually look at?
Yeah, I think there are some changing of allegiances. Some people are upset that Theresa May called an election, which she didn't have to. And others are surprised that Jeremy Corbyn is doing better than they thought he would.
What matters a lot right now is Brexit and how Britain will have whatever relationship with the EU. There's also the relationship they would have with the U.S. We know that Theresa May is very much a Trump fan and wants to work with him, and it couldn't be more polar opposite for Corbyn.
Yes, that is an interesting dynamic in this, because Trump obviously is not popular in the UK, but he is popular with the conservative base there. So Theresa May has a balancing act there. She can't completely dismiss him, yet on the other hand, to embrace him is not going to win the more moderate vote either. So she's got a balancing act that she's got to try and pull off there.
And she's risking. She's going to the casino with a majority government, hoping to have a majority on the other side, but it seems that all polls are pointing towards a hung parliament. And although we may be a little more used to minority governments here, they are lame duck governments in Britain. They're not as used to them. They have either two choices. They can either try and go in a minority government, which Corbyn says that he will do, or get together as a coalition with other parties.
Yeah, although there is the precedent with David Cameron's first government that was they had an agreement with the Liberal Democrats, so it has happened fairly recently. But yes, she did take a huge gamble. She was expecting, at the time she called the election, they were 20 points ahead in the polls, and she was expecting a resounding majority, and that's been turned on its head. It doesn't look like it's going to be a resounding majority at all. Possibly, as you say, even a minority. So
I mean, this matters to us here. This is not just a British election. This matters to us. It will set up where, what populism, what role it plays. The Bank of England is set to set interest rates today as well, which would definitely have an impact on our banks. So it's something we need to be watching.
Yes, it's all part of the Western world that we're a part of, and its political trends there are also reflective of political trends here, and so yes, it's very interesting from our perspective.
So you're going to be sitting today with two TVs, one with Comey and one with the British election. So I wish you luck. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.